e ekingia e te waka, e kaupapa nui e kōrerotia e te pai o wānanga, nau mai, piri mai, ki tēnei pai kōrero. Welcome to Mata, brought to you by Te Māngai Pāho and Irirangi Te Motu, New Zealand on Air. Ko te manu whirikairangi I tēnei hōtaka ko Cheryl Waaka no Ngāpuhi me Ngāti Kahungunu. A former Black Fern and mother of 2 teenagers, Cheryl is now facing her toughest opponent yet, a stage 4 bowel cancer diagnosis, the consequence of a health system she says has been too slow to act. In March, Health Minister Simeon Brown announced the national bowel screening age would be lowered for all New Zealanders from 60 to 58, a step he says will save hundreds of lives. But the funding was redirected from a planned program to lower the screening age for Māori and Pacific peoples to 50 as part of a 2022 pilot aimed at addressing higher Māori cancer rates. Advocates are calling it institutionalised racism and warning it would put Māori at greater risk as half of bowel cancers in Māori occur before the age of 60. Today, Cheryl will share her personal experience of bowel cancer and explain how these political decisions matter to her tamariki, and to communities across Aotearoa. E te tuakana Cheryl, tēnā koe kōrua ko tō tama wakaroa. Thank you for being here with us today to talk on such a personal take, really. And thank you to your son, who's here to support his māmatu e mihi mai o ha atu ana kia kaurua. Kei te pihia koe, how are you feeling?
Good. Very humbled to be here, but feeling great.
Oh, nō mātou te whiwhi, we're humbled to have you here. You hail from a legendary Māori rugby whānau, at least 4 black jerseys in your immediate whānau, that's pretty cool, including yours, Black Fern number 80. Yeah. Your dad, Te Wehi Wati Waaka, played for the Māori All Blacks, as did 2 of your brothers. How proud were they when you were named a Black Fern?
Well, it was just like another legacy in the whānau. And I suppose being a wahine and being in the team so early where it wasn't recognised as such, it was just another great honour, not just for the whānau but for the community where I come from Aotearoa, Northland.
Yeah, women's rugby's come a long way, really, eh? If you consider back then, you'd be lucky to play for Auckland, Northland, and then straight into the Black Ferns.
And that's literally how it was.
Yeah.
Like, you played club, lucky enough to make a provincial team. There would have been 3, 4, and then you were straight into New Zealand Black Ferns.
And you were part of the team that won 2 World Cups. You hold a place in the team of the century. You've really dedicated your life to the sport and to the community. How would you describe yourself?
This is the part I find very hard. Just willing to give back and to actually show when you come from a little rural area, you can achieve your goals. And it mightn't be in sport, but in anything. So it's just, for me, when I made the Black Ferns from Auckland, I had to move to Auckland to do it. And I was always coming home to show our kids that you can do it. So for me, I'm always been that person who's willing to awhi and open the path for our future.
Where is home?
Aotearoa. That's where I'm born and bred. Aotearoa Hokianga. Born in Rawene, but living in Ohio, so I haven't really ventured that far.
President of the Kaikohe Rugby and Football Club these days. Tell me about the early days. What shaped you as a wahine? Who shaped you?
God, that's a good question. I suppose being brought up in a house of brothers and most probably having a strong mother, wahine, and I suppose being able to express myself at a young age, like our whānau, there was no, you stay here, do this. We were always treated the same. So I suppose that helped me to be the person I am today and to be able to stand up, because Dad and Mum always said, if you think you know you're right, you stand up and you fight for what you believe in. So, and I think that's sort of me in a nutshell.
And here we are today.
Yes.
You are speaking up and standing up for what you believe in. You've been diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer. You're only 55. When did you notice something was wrong?
That's the scary part. I didn't. I was healthy, running around, doing my everyday job, running. Well, it was King's birthday weekend. There was a Johnny Isaac's Māori tournament in Kaikohe. I was running the line, ARing, and 3 days later, I'm on the floor in excruciating pain. And that changed my world.
Yeah. And so what was the procedure? Did you go to the doctor? Like, tell me about your experience in the health system since that moment that you collapsed.
So basically, went to our local GP. I had to call my brother. Lucky my wakaroa and kairangi were home that morning because I had said I would take you to school. Got my brother to get me to the GP in Kaikohe. Ambulance to Kawakawa, ambulance to Whangarei, and then that night broke in the news that I have a tumour in my bowel and I need to have emergency surgery. And I suppose I'm very lucky to my surgeon. He got the tumour, but unfortunately it spread to my liver. So that's sort of where I'm at now. Yeah, getting ready to start treatment on the 11th of August.
What is the diagnosis that the doctors have told you?
That I need to have chemo and an unfunded drug, which was a bit of a blow, and it's to help prolong my life. So for me, and I've said it from the day I came out of surgery, I've been given an opportunity. Not many people get this opportunity, and I'm going to fight to be here for my children.
Meaning you survived
Yes.
that collapse, you survived the tumour
Yes.
boosting?
Yes, it was literally ready to burst. So I was very, very lucky. I'm lucky to be here.
Your son Wakaroa is here with you today. You're a mum of 2. How difficult was it telling your kids?
I wouldn't like to wish that on anybody. To be just myself, to be told. And then to actually tell the kids. And I was trying to hold myself to be strong, as we do, as wahine. But I wouldn't like to, because I didn't know if I was coming out. So that could have been one of the hardest moments of my life.
And as a wahine who has been kept healthy, training, keeping your body fit, were you the kind of person who kept up with all the screenings, the mammograms and everything that was required of you?
Yes, and that even my surgeon said that. He said, we've looked through your history and you've done everything that you should have. And he also said to me that you're young, fit and healthy, and if the screening was available, you would have been that one who would have went in and got screened, and we most probably wouldn't be where we are today.
And that's the hardest thing is it a postcode lottery? Do you wonder if you had been living in Te Tai Rāwhiti, not Te Tai Tokerau, perhaps with the screening from 50, there was a pilot running, the health system might have picked up your cancer earlier instead of being diagnosed at stage 4?
Oh, totally. And that's, out of everything, that's the part what gets me the most. I was healthy. I had no symptoms. And if we had screening, and at 50, it would have been picked up. But it just sat there and grew and grew and grew.
Mm. The screening for Māori from 50 will no longer continue. Instead, a universal approach for all New Zealanders will kick in from later this year. That screening will take place at 58, so everyone at 58 will be able to have free screening. How does that make you feel, knowing now the prevalence of bowel cancer for Māori, and particularly the early onset, the growing number there?
It's wrong. Like 58, I'm 55. If it didn't happen now, would it have been still sitting there? And by the time 58, if I got to 58, it might have been too late. And like I've done research in Australia, it's 45. They are doing everyone screening for bowel cancer. We talk about we're one nation. Why isn't everyone getting screened for this? Because it's getting so common,
Many people suffer silently and privately. Why have you decided to share your story?
Because I want people to know. Like, you look at me, strong, fit, healthy. It can happen to anyone. And I don't want it to happen to anyone. And especially the future. My kids I work with every day, and even my friends who are my age, I'm telling them, go and get screened. Yes, it's going to cost you, but look at me. If I think back, but why would I have gone to the doctors? Because I'm not unwell.
Mm. Last year, health officials advised the then Health Minister, Dr. Shane Reti, he's also from the north, you're both from the north, that lowering the screening age for Māori to 56 would prevent approximately 918 more cases and 678 deaths over 25 years. And the actual recommendation from Māori health practitioners is that the age should be 45, which would mean hundreds more being spared. What you're going through right now. Do you feel the government puts enough value on your life?
Well, at the moment, no. Because if we had screening, I most probably wouldn't be costing the country money. That's how I'm looking at it. If I was able to get screened at a younger age, you just imagine how much money this government will be saving in health costs.
So, Cheryl, you've represented New Zealand wearing the black jersey. You've led a healthy and responsible lifestyle. Here you are, 55, left to fundraise for your survival. What is available to you through the health system?
Just chemo and the drug. I can't think of the name, but it's non-funded that I need for the type of bowel cancer I've got in my liver. So now I've got to fundraise to have that drug to help me get well again. So now, yes, I've got to fundraise, and I've got to say the community of Kaikoe, Taitokoro, actually all of New Zealand, because friends from near and far are rallying together. And for me, that is very humbling as well, because I'm not that type of person, and all my friends know that, and they've just told me, you sit down, be quiet, it's our time to help you.
Mm-hmm. How much do you have to raise to survive?
Well, it's 30,000 every 12 cycles.
Is that a year?
So that's for one treatment.
Mm.
So for me to start on the 11th of August, I've got to have 30k to start my first lot of treatment.
Is that a big ask for the communities of Kaikohe, Kaitaia, or Taua, or Haiawai?
Well, it is because, well, for me, life is hard.
Yeah.
People are struggling. And for me, you know, I feel like I'm taking from the whānau. And everyone said, you know, you've given so much, it's our time, but deep inside, you know, everyone's struggling to survive out there. And I'm just so grateful that people are willing to help me to survive and for me to fight this fight, which I'm going to do.
What happens, Cheryl, if you can't raise the 30k?
Well, I can't have the drug. And I'll just have chemo, which, as my specialist said, will help, but this drug is needed for me to help to progress the cancer, to help slow down the cancer in my liver.
Your dad, he's no longer here. He wore a black jersey. He also served in the Māori battalion. He fought for this country. What do you think he might think about the way that you've been treated?
Yeah, well, and that's how I always look at it too. Like, I look at what my dad done for his country. And he'd be up there telling me, well, it's time to fight. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because I know I've got everyone behind me. And for me, that's the least I can do for everyone who's going to support me through this journey.
If you could sit in front of the Health Minister, Simeon Brown, and the Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, what would you say to them?
I'll just say, look at me. You look at me, you wouldn't think what I'm going through. But if you could change one thing and lower the age for this cancer, if it was one thing you could do for this country, please just think about doing it. Because for me, that's the only reason I'm here, because I was non-symptomatic. But I feel for everyone else who's fighting the same journey as well. You know, I'm sitting here for them as well. Not just for me, but for everyone who's going through this at this time.
And what is the response you're hearing from other sufferers, other people?
Well, it's because I've had friends who've had different, not so much bowel cancer, and, you know, they said the same thing. They just said, Cheryl, you're too young. You're fit, you're strong, you're healthy. You've looked after yourself, you know. You've never had a meat pie in your mouth. And but sharing these stories, it's helped me as well. Just to know that there's people there, and what they've been through as well. So it's actually quite nice to just sit and reflect. And I've got a dear friend, Tanya Filia, who's gone through brain cancer, who's now cancer free. So been talking with her, and so it's been, you know, it's quite nice. It's quite hard to explain, I suppose. Yeah.
What's your message to other wahine Māori listening in, especially those navigating the health system at the moment?
Like, just do it. Like, and don't fight it. Like, we need you all there. We need everyone going into the health system, because the old saying, you keep knocking, the door will open. And I think that's what we've got to do. Like, don't think, oh, you know, we're not getting anywhere. We've got to just keep knocking on that door. And even my nurses I've had while I was in hospital, they totally agreed, that the health system is broken and they are seeing more and more sick people that they shouldn't be seeing. And we've got to help them as well because, they do marvellous work.
Mm.
But I think we've just got to keep just pushing that door open. Mm. And if we do it together, we will get some reward.
What's your first big challenge in terms of your this next fight with chemo? What happens next for you?
Well, basically, go through it and see how my body reacts to it, because it's a whole new journey for me. And I'm willing to take that fight, and I suppose I'm embracing it, and just in the back of my head is my children. That's what's going to get me through. My children, my friends, everyone who's supporting me through this. But that's my next big journey now, is just getting myself well and strong to fight this.
And what does it mean for your whānau? Have you had those discussions? Life's going to change, right?
Oh, totally. And they've seen it now. And I think we're slowly getting ready for that. And for me, it's made me sit back and actually realise life is good. It's a shame it takes something like this that you sit back and think other things are irrelevant. Mm. It's you, like the individual. You is the most important thing.
You've got a massive legacy on the field. What do you want your legacy to be off the field?
To know that I'm honest and open, and want people to realise that, and there'd be people listening who wouldn't even know that I'm going through this, that learning to open yourself to people, because that's been something I've had to learn, because I'm never one to ask for help, but I'm always giving. So for me, my legacy will be that I've given everything that I can, and hope I've just left something that will remind people of me.
I te tuakana, tēnā rau atu koe o inei kōrero. Pauri rau atu, engari kia kaha, kia kaha. He kai ārahi i te ao hākinakina, i te ao whānui hoki, tēnā koe i inei kōrero Cheryl Waaka. Ko te mamaku he tohu o te kātuarehe o te wahine, nō reira e te ika āwhiro tū mai rā koe. Te mana wahine, tētahi mamaku o Aotearoa, kia kaha rā. E mihi whakamāno atu ki te Māngai Pāho, me irirangi te motu, nā rāua tēnei hōtaka i tautoko. We'll be back with more mata in a fortnight. No horo mai.